What's good, lovebirds? So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a really very sensitive topic that I hope my parents don't see because it's not necessarily about them, but it is, there you go. It is a subject that's kind of touchy for them. So I'm going to be talking about cheating. I know. It's awkward and very uncomfortable, and I have never been cheated on, but I can imagine that would piss you off beyond all reason. So what do you do when you are tempted to cheat? What do you do when you do cheat? Or what do you do when your spouse cheats? So, covering that topic today, I want to tell you about a dream that I had last night, which was really trippy, and the reason why I want to talk about this, and it was because I literally had a dream that I wanted to cheat on Jeremy. And I thought it was kind of fucked up because, I mean, you know, we've been together for a really long time. We care about each other a lot, and I've never cheated on Jeremy, and I don't plan to. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't live with myself. And I remember being in the dream and thinking to myself, okay, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I don't know if I actually did or didn't, but I wanted to. And it was one of those things where I was like, am I going to be able to live with myself after this? And I think that's really what comes down to the decision of cheating. Like, if you want to do it, or if you think, like, what's the harm in it? It's like, I guess it just really depends on whether or how you want to, like, look at yourself in the mirror every day. And I think that's what comes down to, like, all relationships. And it's how you respect one another and treat one another. So, my stepdad did cheat on my mom. It was unfortunate. It literally happened, like, I don't know, like 6 months after I got married, which sent me for a whirl because I was like, oh great, now I have so much great things to look forward to. It was not fun. It tore our family to pieces, and we are still recovering from it almost 9 years later. My parents are back together. They are happy. Put that in quotations. Please, I hope they're not watching this because, I mean, truth be speaking, they're not happy. I mean, could you be happy with someone who cheated on you? Probably not. So here's my advice. Don't do it. Jerry Springer literally gave me the best advice ever. And he said, if you want to know whether or not you're doing something that might be questionable to your partner, ask yourself a simple question. Would you do it if they were in the room? Now, it brings me back to my dream. I don't know where Jeremy was in my dream. I don't even know really where I was. But, you know, dreams are weird. And I was just going through and I was just like, oh, do I want to do this? Is this good for me? Is it blah, blah, blah? It was just one of those weird dreams that really kind of sucked because I know in my heart that that's not something that I would ever do because it's fucked up. It's the most form of disrespect I think ever. And truthfully, when Jeremy and I first got together, long ass time ago back in high school, I asked him flat out, what would you do if I cheated on you? You know, because you don't know who you are when you're back then, and I'm a blunt as a spoon kind of girl, and I wanted to know, like, what would you do? And he was like, I guess we'd break up, and I wouldn't be with you. And I was like, interesting. Because I had known some friends who had cheated on their boyfriends before, and did they look at themselves like a bad person? I don't know. I didn't ask them because it's not my table. It's not my problem. But, you know, I am not that kind of person who can live with themselves knowing that I'm being dishonest about anything. If you ask me what time it is and it's 3:37, I'm not going to tell you it's 3:30 or 3:45 because it's not true. But that's something that's a big value to me. I value honesty and communication, and above all of that, I value respect. And so, do I have all the answers to tell you what you should or shouldn't do if you want to cheat, if somebody else has cheated on you, if you're thinking about doing it or you have done it? I don't know. Here's my thing. Don't do anything that you would think would bother the other person if they were right there. And if you do, and you don't care, have enough respect for the person that you're with to just call it quits. Now, again, special, circumstances for everybody, I suppose. But I think at the deep down root of us, we know what feels right and what feels wrong, what's good and what's bad. And if we don't like something, we don't have to endure it. You know, we just don't. And so, I don't know what to tell you. I would not be able to trust that person. I would not be able to trust myself. I mean, just having a dream about cheating on Jeremy made me feel like an asshole, made me feel so guilty, and I didn't even do anything, you know? I couldn't tell you what that's about. Probably because he came in there and gave me a kiss goodbye and told me the coffee's on and I love you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's such a sweet guy. And then I go to sleep and I'm like, okay, so, like, where am I at? Now am I going to do this? It's weird. But happened. So, I don't know what to tell you. If somebody's being unfaithful, that to me is like crossing a whole nother line of disrespect and communication that's clearly not there. So my advice would be to not do it. Destroys people, right? Also, you know, it's gonna sound simple, but would you do it if that person was around? No. Like, it is that simple. If you want to know whether or not the person that you're with would appreciate or approve of what type of behavior that you're exhibiting with around other people, you gotta ask yourself, would I act this way if they were around? And if you wouldn't, or maybe you would, who knows, then that's your prerogative. Like, if you and your man got a thing going on where you're like, we're gonna go flirt with a bunch of other people and then we're gonna come home and like make out like crazy, whatever, do you. But don't disrespect the other person. And I really don't advise just doing that anyway, because why would you want to flirt with other people when you got your own? I don't know. I'm not an expert, never claimed to be, but I appreciate you watching. If we have some, like, people who would, like, want to write in and be like, yo, why don't you talk about anything else? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I am only, like, practicing to see if I could even get a following. So, if you like what you've heard, or if you want to add to the conversation, just comment below, and I'll probably won't read it, and probably will forget all about it, and, because I'm not a professional. Okay, bye.